The Nightly Business Report.
Good evening. Tonight, the latest cabinet decisions affirm the current government's plan of managing ailing industries and proceeding with legislative reforms and updates. The Asia Development Bank has approved a $30 million financing facility for the Ceylon Electricity Board to support energy sector sustainability in Sri Lanka. The positive momentum continues to build over the Colombo bourses, with both the S&PSL20 and the ASPI maintaining their gains on the second trading day of the week. And Wall Street closes lower, led by a decline in Nvidia stocks, which fell 2.5% after China's market regulator launched an antitrust investigation into the chip maker, dragging the information technology sector down.
From Studio 24, here's Sanuvi Mudanayaka.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. According to the cabinet briefing that took place earlier today, the cabinet decisions taken at the meeting conducted yesterday include management of ailing industries, including fishery, and also progress on IMF-related legislature and bills.
The Cabinet of Ministers approved the amendment to the proceeds of the crime bill following observations by the International Monetary Fund after its initial publication. The bill, drafted by the legal draftsman and presented to the Parliament on the 12th of August, was reviewed by a committee chaired by Supreme Court Judge. The committee recommended incorporating several additional provisions. The Indian government has agreed to provide a financial grant for the completion of the renovation of the Krainagar boatyard owned by Sino Foundation Limited and the procurement of required machinery and official equipment, and approval has been granted by the Cabinet of Ministers to sign a memorandum of understanding in this respect. Approval has been granted at the Cabinet meeting to provide an allowance to restore fisheries industry for 6 months with the aim of restoring the fisheries industry and minimizing the impact occurred due to the economic crisis. The Cabinet of Ministers has approved the extension of the suspension of the parade law, which holds banks from acquiring creditors' property. Cabinet spokesperson Minister Nalinda Jayatissa announced that the suspension of the parade law has been extended until the 31st of March next year.
The Asian Development Bank has approved a $200 million loan to modernize Sri Lanka's power sector infrastructure. This funding will improve the reliability of the country's transmission and distribution networks while supporting the integration of more renewable energy sources.
The Asian Development Bank has approved a $30 million small expenditure financing facility for the Ceylon Electricity Board to support Sri Lanka's energy transition. The facility will help the country meet its target of generating 70% of electricity from renewable sources by 2030. This ambitious goal requires substantial investments in renewable energy infrastructure, grid modernization, and energy storage solutions, as well as policy reforms to encourage private sector involvement. The SEFF is part of Sri Lanka's broader power sector reforms, which are also supported by ADB's Power Sector Reforms and Financial Sustainability Program. These reforms focus on improving the financial sustainability of the sector, implementing cost recovery tariff adjustments, and promoting competitive renewable energy development. Additionally, the SEFF will strengthen the CEB's capacity to integrate renewable energy systems and adopt digital solutions. This support from ADB underscores its commitment to helping Sri Lanka build a more sustainable and resilient energy future.
Sri Lanka's book industry has renewed its request for books to be exempt from taxes, with 4 industry bodies submitting a proposal to the new government for consideration in the upcoming national budget.
Sri Lanka's book industry has urged the government to reconsider the tax on books, with 4 key industry associations submitting a proposal for the next national budget. These associations, representing publishers, writers, retailers, importers and exporters, highlighted the financial and social consequences of taxing books, a vital source of knowledge and learning. They call for books to be reinstated as tax-exempt items as they were before the 1st of January this year. The proposal points out that the publishing industry in Sri Lanka is already taxed at 33.045%, with the additional imposition of an 18% value-added tax at the point of sale, making books unaffordable to many. Small-scale publishers in particular are facing severe financial strain, and some are even going out of business. Small publishers often rely on distribution networks of larger companies, and the VAT affects all books, including those sold through these channels.
Minister of Industry and Entrepreneurship Development Sunil Anulhetti told the 7th Annual International Conference of the Sri Lanka Economic Association that participation of scholars and intellectuals is mandatory in policy decision-making in a country. He said although university students conduct a large amount of research every year, it is not being disseminated to society. However, in the future, a systematic program should be prepared to contribute to the economy from the research results presented through universities, such as conferences. The 7th Annual International Conference of the Sri Lanka Economic Association was held recently at the Sri Lanka Association for the Advancement of Science Auditorium. The theme of this year's conference was Transformations in the Industrial Sector for Sri Lanka's Economic Revival, and 35 research papers presented by economics from Sri Lanka and abroad that will help in the rapid recovery, development and promotion of the economy were presented. National Chamber of Exporters Sri Lanka President Jayantha Karunaratne called for urgent reforms to strengthen the country's export sector during his address at the 32nd NCE Export Awards, which took place in Colombo.
The Chamber President emphasized the importance of transparency and accountability in regulatory processes, urging the government to eliminate delays in patent funds and adopt a single window system to streamline operations and boost efficiency. Speaking to an audience of industry leaders and stakeholders, Karunaratne stressed the necessity of empowering Sri Lanka's mission and programs, rebuilding global confidence in Sri Lankan products and addressing the adverse effects of economic instability. He identified rising production cost and the current tax structure, which imposes a 30% tax on profits as significant barriers to investment and innovation. He called for liberal reforms to foster a dynamic workforce, improved access to international trademark administration, and greater support for SMEs and startups, which are crucial drivers of export growth. The devaluation of the Sri Lankan rupee down 10% over the past year and the uncertainty surrounding the removal of SWAT system were highlighted as ongoing concerns. Additionally, rising energy and credit costs continue to strain exporters. The National Chamber of Exporters is actively working with stakeholders such as the Export Development Board, Ministry of Industries and Ministry of Finance to develop actionable solutions. These include stabilizing the currency, reforming the tax structure and prioritizing research and development initiatives.
Let's take a short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. On the second trading day of the week, the market showed positive momentum, with both the S&PSL20 and the ASPI maintaining their gains. For further insights, we speak with Jabesh David from Capital Alliance Securities.
Today, the Colombo Stock Exchange concluded on a positive note. The market ended at 13,774 points, marking a 56 points increase from the previous session, with a turnover of 4.3 billion rupees. The SL20 index also experienced an upward movement of 38.39 points to end the day at 4,129 points. Notable institutional engagement was observed across various sectors, with high turnovers recorded on LOLC Holdings, Browns Investments and John Keel's Holdings. The top 5 gainers for the day were SMB Leasing PLC, HPF Foods PLC, EML Consultants and UB Finance. The top 5 losers for the day were National Lanka Finance PLC, Mercantile Shipping and Colombo Fort Investments.
Average weighted prime lending rate has been more or less steady during the past few weeks, enabling credit growth backed by improvement in economic indicators and pickup in business confidence. For further insights, we speak with Manusha Kandanarachi from First Capital Holdings.
For the week ending 6 December 2024, the average weighted prime lending rate decreased slightly by 1 basis points, reaching 9.09% compared to the previous week. However, when compared to the same period last year, the current rate shows a decrease of 337 basis points. Additionally, it has decreased by 7 basis points compared to the previous month as well. This reduction in the average weighted prime lending rate can be attributed to a 75 basis point cut in both standing deposit facility rate and standing lending facility rate by Central Bank of Sri Lanka during this year, as well as shift in the central bank's monetary policy stance to a single interest rate policy mechanism in the 6th monetary policy meeting. In October 2024, private sector credit reached 7,870.9 billion, reflecting a 9.3% year-over-year increase. During the third quarter 2024, banks' willingness to lend rose for the retail, corporate and SME sectors, while lending to SOE sector continued to decline. This increase in lending was supported by improved liquidity, positive economic expectation, sector-specific growth, stable interest rates, and better business conditions. The SOE sector faced challenges due to uncertainties around debt commitments and restructuring. Loan demand also increased across retail, corporate and SME sectors in the third quarter this year, driven by lower interest rates, stable inflation, economic growth, and expanded activities in tourism and renewable energy. For the fourth quarter 2024, lending and loan demand are expected to rise across all sectors, supported by anticipated interest rate cuts, political stability, policy consistency, and continued economic growth. The SOE sector is expected to see a slight recovery in demand, fueled by relaunch of existing projects and new initiatives.
Gold prices continue to rise today, supported by China's commitment to ramp up policy stimulus to boost economic growth. Spot gold increased by 0.4%, reaching $2,669.25 per ounce. US gold futures rose 0.2%, settling at $2,691.60. Investors are also closely watching upcoming US inflation data for clues on the Federal Reserve's interest rate decisions. The combination of China's economic measures and inflation expectations is driving investor interest in gold. Analysts suggest that gold may continue to benefit from economic uncertainties and inflation concerns. As geopolitical risks persist, gold remains an attractive safe haven asset. Oil prices slipped today as concerns over the fallout from Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's potential overthrow eased. Brent crude futures dropped by about 0.4%, reaching $71.88 per barrel, while US West Texas Intermediate crude futures also fell 0.4%, settling at $68.07. However, the market found support in China's promise to increase policy stimulus, which could boost crude demand from the world's top oil buyer. Both oil benchmarks had risen more than 1% the previous day. Despite Syria not being a major oil producer, its strategic location and ties to Russia and Iran make any regime change potentially destabilizing for the region. As Syria's rebels work to restore order, the country's banks and oil sector are expected to resume operations soon. The Sri Lankan rupee has slightly appreciated against the US dollar today compared to yesterday. According to the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, both the buying and selling rates of the US dollar have decreased. Let's now take a look at how the Sri Lankan rupee is performing against other global currencies. A short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back. TV Derana was awarded Service Brand of the Year at the Slim Brand Excellence Awards 2024, recognizing its outstanding service and commitment to excellence.
The Slim Brand Excellence 2024 award ceremony held recently at Sri Javadanapura Kotte celebrated the finest brands in Sri Lanka. Organised by Slim, this prestigious event marked its 23rd edition with over 200 top brands from various sectors competing for recognition. Awards were presented across several categories, highlighting the country's most outstanding brands. Among the honorees, Derana was awarded the coveted Service Brand of the Year title, a special distinction in the Service Brand category. Notably, this was the only award given to a media network at the ceremony, underscoring Derana's significant contribution and excellence in the industry. The event provided a platform for businesses to showcase their brand strength and achievements. It also emphasized the importance of brand in the country's economic growth. The recognition further solidifies Derana's position as a leading media brand in Sri Lanka.
Kapraka.com has become the first online service in Sri Lanka to accept Apple Pay payments, marking a significant milestone in the country's e-commerce landscape. This integration underscores Kapraka's commitment to innovation and providing greater convenience to its customers. Kapraka has long offered a variety of payment options, including PayPal and cryptocurrency. The addition of Apple Pay further strengthens its position as a pioneer in the digital payment space. This new payment method is particularly beneficial for Kapraka's customer base of over 1.1 million Sri Lankan expatriates. Although Apple Pay adoption is still limited in Sri Lanka, Kapraka is enabling international users to enjoy secure and seamless transactions. Mr. Riaz Mihula has been appointed as an independent non-executive director to the board of Aitken Spence plc. He served as the managing partner of KPMG Sri Lanka and Maldives from April 2012 to March 2022. Mihula was also the chairman of KPMG's Middle East and South Asia region cluster from 2018 to 2021. In addition, he held the position of Chief Operating Officer of KPMG's Mesa Regional Office and was a member of KPMG's Europe, Middle East and Africa board. Mihula is a past president and fellow member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka and has held leadership positions with the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. He has also completed executive education programs at INSEAD, Harvard Business School and the London Business School. Sri Lankan Airlines' frequent flyer program Fly Smiles has gone live with a reimagined website that introduces several standout features, offering seamless access and reward redemptions alongside many other intuitive functionalities for its nearly 800,000 global members.
Head of Worldwide Sales and Distribution of Sri Lankan Airlines, Dimuthu Tennakon, stated that this marks a significant step forward in how they engage with and reward loyal customers. Group Head of Information Technology of Sri Lankan, Chamara Perera, added that being developed entirely in-house, this project reflects the remarkable talent and innovation within the airline. Members can now effortlessly navigate their personalized dashboard, check their Fly Smiles, miles balance, and track their membership tier progress. Even buying, transferring and gifting miles are possible. The platform also offers a seamless user experience with social login, enabling members to sign in using their Google or Facebook accounts. For added security, an OTP has been enabled for transactions, all integrated smoothly with a range of payment options including American Express, Visa and MasterCard. The website makes managing redemption vouchers a breeze by making it possible to request, redeem, modify or cancel with just a few clicks. It also offers easy access to a variety of other vouchers such as lounge access vouchers for co-branded cardholders, excess baggage vouchers and vouchers for non-airline partners.
EVA has partnered with the Sri Lankan Red Cross Society to launch an island-wide menstrual health and hygiene awareness program set to reach schools across Sri Lanka in 2025.
A transformative initiative was launched at the Sri Lankan Red Cross premises in Colombo, marking the beginning of EVA SLRC Menstrual Health and Hygiene Awareness Program. This nationwide movement aims to foster awareness, knowledge and inclusion surrounding menstrual health, setting the stage for cultural shift in how menstruation is perceived in the country. Conducted with the support of the Ministry of Education, the program seeks to challenge societal taboos and promote the understanding of menstruation as a natural path of health and vitality rather than a source of shame. Through a series of dynamic workshops, interactive discussions and the provision of accurate information, the initiative aims to empower young people, especially students, to approach menstruation with confidence and dignity. The Sri Lanka Red Cross Society, a key partner in this initiative, serves as an auxiliary to the government, driving the values of humanity, neutrality, impartiality and unity. This collaboration aligns with the SLRC's mission to uplift and empower vulnerable communities, ensuring their well-being and dignity in all circumstances.
Let's take a short commercial break. Global business updates coming on the other side. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Most Asian stocks surged today, driven by optimism surrounding potential stimulus measures from China. The Shanghai Composite Index rose 1.6%, while the Shanghai Shenzhen CSI 300 Index jumped over 2%. Markets in Japan and South Korea also showed positive movement, reflecting broader regional optimism. Japan's Nikkei 225 gained 0.2% and the Topix Index rose by 0.3%. The Hang Seng Index in Hong Kong surged 1.5%, fueled by gains in locally listed Chinese stocks. South Korea's Kospi Index rebounded sharply by 2.4%, recovering from significant losses in the previous session. Wall Street closed lower, led by a decline in Nvidia stocks, which fell 2.5% after China's markets regulator launched an antitrust investigation into the chip maker, dragging the information technology sector down.
Wall Street's main indexes finished lower on Monday, fueled by a decline in AI leader Nvidia. The Dow shed more than 0.5%, while the S&P 500 and Nasdaq each lost about 0.6%. Nvidia fell 2.5% after China's market regulator launched an antitrust probe into the chip maker. Chipmaker Advanced Micro Devices slipped 5.5% after BofA Global Research downgraded the stock. Shares of Oracle, down slightly at the close, dropped another 7.5% in extended trading after the company missed Wall Street's estimates for second quarter revenue. Other stocks on the move included Comcast, down 9.5% after forecasting a loss of more than 100,000 broadband subscribers in the fourth quarter. And Hershey shares soared nearly 11%, following a report that Cadbury parent Mondelez was exploring an acquisition of the chocolate maker. Mondelez shares fell. This week's data includes Wednesday's Consumer Price Index, followed by the Producer Price Index on Thursday. Both come ahead of next week's Federal Reserve policy meeting, during which the central bank is expected to lower interest rates by 0.25 percentage point.
Google said that it has overcome a key challenge in quantum computing with a new generation of chip, solving a computing problem in 5 minutes that would take a classical computer more time than the history of the universe.
Google says it has cracked a key challenge in quantum computing with a new chip capable of almost unfathomable speeds. The tech giant says it can perform a standard test in under 5 minutes, one that would take one of today's fastest supercomputers 10 septillion years. That's vastly longer than the universe has existed. Google says the results lend credence to theories that quantum computing taps into a multiverse of parallel universes. Dubbed Willow, the new chip has 105 so-called qubits, the building blocks of quantum machines. They are super fast, but also very error-prone, and can be upset by something as tiny as a passing subatomic particle. Now Google says it's found a way to make them more reliable, and says it can also correct errors in real time. That's a big step towards building a practical quantum computer. Google hopes such devices could one day deliver huge advances in fields like AI and medicine. In a blog post Monday, it said that, even under ideal conditions, it would take a regular computer 1 billion years to get the same results as Willow. The processors are being crafted at a new purpose-built facility in Santa Barbara, California. Rival firms have focused on building chips with more qubits, but Google says improving reliability is the key to delivering a workable system.
That's all from us on the Nightly Business Report for today. We'll see you again tomorrow with the latest updates in the business globe. Until then, I am Sanu Mudan Nayaka. Thank you for watching and have a good night.